Well, how y'all doing? Derby Jack here. It is Saturday morning. It seems I can't get off here. Now, I just recently put a song out, and before that, there was something that bothered me. I'm on Facebook on songwriting platforms, and I have a habit of opening up my mouth, or have a habit of saying something that causes a lot of stress and stuff. Well, somebody had sat there saying that they were, creating songs with AI, that they were, putting an idea in and letting AI actually formulate the song and actually help them with the. I almost understand some of the help. Like I try to avoid as much AI as I can. I don't want to use AI if I can help it. Now I have digital stuff. I mean, I have a recording studio. I have a studio for my video studio, to where I can put my little Derby Jack Ministry things and stuff. And now I have all that. I can do little tricks and stuff, and visual aids and echo chambers and stuff. But it's still all my stuff, and it's all me doing it all. That's using tools. But when you're allowing this abomination, this thing, this entity, if you will, to remember, it's artificial intelligence. You all use, when people use the term AI, it makes it sound so accepting. Artificial intelligence should scare the hell out of you. It shouldn't be something that you are proud of as being a human being, that look at what we were able to create. It's not a good thing, no matter how it's packaged. The problem is with a lot of artists, people who have talent. Before AI, Mozart created music. Beethoven created music, real music, mathematical music. They didn't need an AI. And yet the music mathematically is precise, and the music mentally and how it makes you feel spiritually or whatever. All these some music is good and some music is bad. Some music is good, used for good, as well as the AI abomination, the beast, the system. We know about it as Christians when we read the Bible. We know it's here. We know what it is. At least we should. And for many of you Christians who do not, who sit there and use AI. Now, I understand the secular man. I understand the unfaithful man. I understand the type of man out there who's, on, like my song, a mankind. You left God behind a long time ago, and you're out there, and you come from the amoeba, and you come from the ooze of the ground, and now you're up there and you're making AI, you're going out into imaginary space and all this other stuff. You conquered the world, you're mankind, and now you're gonna conquer the world with AI. But here's the thing. AI is artificial intelligence, and when you get out of artificial, it's intelligence. If the intelligence is given negative information, what is the entity is going to come out of that, and that particular system, that computer, whatever you want to call it, whether it's a D wave, whatever it is, but the singularity, what it is fed. If it is fed things to control, if it's fed, whoever created it for purposes of control, in most cases. They can tell you, well, we did it, we made it so people can write who can't write, or paraplegics. That all sounds good. It all sounds good in the surface, and some people can get advanced, can get their lives changed for goodness for these things. But at the same time, its purpose is not for that. Its purpose is very dangerous. It's like, we can say it funny wise, but you got this pervert guy in the Oval Office who has ability to push a button. Now, the man doesn't have the ability to go to the bathroom. He has to shit on stage. Joe Biden, the pervert, you know who I'm talking about. So, do you want that guy to have the ability to push the button? The button goes to what? The armor, right? Our armaments, right? Now, if he pushed a button unnecessarily for the wrong reasons, there's a lot of destruction. Now, if you have the button there but you don't use it, and it's a deterrent, it's never used, it's got cobwebs on it, you don't even think about it, then that's a deterrent, it's a tool. But when it becomes something that can be used for the negative, normally it is. Why? Because we live in a world of negative. We live in a world of darkness. We live in a world that oppresses anything that is of God, of righteousness. And for you people who don't believe it, so I go back to songwriting. These people don't realize what they are giving over. Their pearls, their gems, their abilities that were given to them through the graces of God. I have abilities that some people do not have. I have supernatural abilities of seeing shadow demons. That was given to me by God. Grace to me by God. Curse to me by God. Why? Because I asked for it, and he gave it to me. And it's not always pretty, the things that I can see, with eyes that are going blind. Number 2, God gives us all the abilities that we have. Spiritually, men can speak with voices of angels or in this and that, and then people can raise people from the dead. Even Jesus said, "You will do greater things than I," when he sent out them after his death and resurrection, right? Before he ascended, "You will do greater things than I." We can do greater things than he, and yet we don't believe it. We've been given the power, but yet we would rather give that power over to an object, an inanimate object. That we want to give it over to Satan. So everything that God has instilled upon you, if you are a creator, an artist, you are a writer, a lyricist. Do you know music is very important to God as well as it's very important to Satan? Look at how Satan's using music. Look at the witch, Taylor Swift. Look at Beyonce. Witches in their own right, putting spells on children, making these little girls lose their minds. Worse than Elvis was. Elvis was one of them too. You got people who are in the spotlight who are fallen angels who have been here for a long, long time. They know how to manipulate you. They know how to make you love them. And that's what they want. They want what God deserves. So if you're writing, they don't want you to write with what God instilled upon you. They don't want you to use the talents that God gave you, because they want to destroy those talents as well as they want to destroy your flesh. That's why they want to take little Johnny and turn him into Jenny, and take Jenny and turn her into Johnny. Why? It's an abomination. Artificial intelligence is an abomination against what God has given you, a brain. That's the image of God in you. Not the physical. The image. The image of thought, of creation. The image of imagination. Y'all are very imaginable when you look up into the sky at night and think that that's outer space and it's not a wall. You don't understand your cosmology, but yet you look up and believe in falseness because you've been taught that. Songwriters, do not give up what God has given you. If you are a songwriter giving good messages, whether it's godly or whether it's just good messages, messages that make a purpose. Right now, what is there to write about? Really? You can't sit here and say that the world's going great and write a song that everybody's doing great in the world. They do that on television. It's a lie. Pervy Joe's people do it every day. Oh, the economy's great. People are out of work. The economy's great. People don't have enough money to pay the bills. The economy's great. We're sending money over to other countries because the economy is great. Yeah. Well, the economy is great. You know what America is? America is nothing more than a warehouse for other countries. We send them our money. We send them our goods. We send them our guns. We send them all kinds of items. We send them our people to die for them, to protect their borders. But yet, we leave our borders open for all kinds of riffraff. The replacements. You don't want to get on board with American government? Who doesn't matter what side is on call, or who's in the Oval Office. You don't want to get on board with the American way. Then they'll replace you. You'll roll up your sleeve. They'll get rid of you and replace you. No big deal to them. Songwriters, artists. They've taken your land from you. If you're American, if you're here in America and you're a songwriter, you're an artist or whatever, maybe a book writer, you write scripts or whatever the case is, AI is doing it better because I'll tell you why. Why it takes AI seconds to do something that would take you hours or days to create. Because it's a lie. It draws upon things without emotion. It doesn't have the intellect that you have. It doesn't have the ability to feel that you have. So when it puts things together, it can sound good. It can grammatically look good. Musically, if it does music, it can make it sound good. But is it feeling, emotion that was instilled upon you, not AI, upon you, biochemical, all instilled upon you, your natural state of humanity that God created you to be? Even in your fall, you still give away everything and allow yourself to continue to fall. You give to AI all those things. And here's my thing with you songwriters out there. You are so prideful and hateful against the things that I say to you that if I'm not using, I said it exactly. If you have to use AI to do the work for you, then you're not an artist. You are not a songwriter. You are not. You can't say you are. Even if they instantly put the stuff into your head, which they'll do someday. You might be able to play a violin you never played before, but it's artificial. It wasn't something that was instilled upon you by God. It was instilled upon you by whatever they did with their technology, putting things in your head and stuff like that to make you think certain things. Yeah, so they can give you a program to be able to play Mozart on a violin or play whatever, right? And play classical or whatever, or rock and roll. You never picked up a guitar. They can put something in your head to make you pick up that guitar. But here's the thing. You are not doing it. You are not creating it. You are not giving into it. You are giving away you to artificial intelligence. You are giving away your thoughts, your emotions, your everything. To make it easy, how much easier does life need to be until you don't move anymore? Until you don't need to, you just sit there and think it, and it's done for you. What kind of life is that? That's not what your body was made for. You were not made to be just a brain in a jar. You were made to be mobile. You were made to do things. You were made to be a conqueror, and also to be gracious, and to want to give life. You have all the attributes that God had when he created us. And yet you give it up for darkness. You give it up for fears. You give it up for pride. And that's the biggest problem that I have. You songwriters, why are you so prideful using AI when you're not doing the work, technically? Why are you so prideful? You're not doing it. I can be prideful because I do all my own songwriting. I do all my own work. I could be very, very prideful over that. I try not to be. But yet I have a right to. Why? Because it is my work. It isn't plagiarized. It is everything that comes out of my mind and my heart and my spirit and my soul. Tell me, the last song you wrote with AI, what came out of you? That's what I ask all you songwriters. So y'all hate me. And most of you who give answers, I've read every answer of everything. And most of you don't get it. You're not understanding where I'm coming from. Because you're still under that framework of that pride. You're still under that gauze of pride. You're still under that oppression of pride. You still believe that by you don't have, if you don't have what it takes to be a songwriter, you don't have what it takes to be a songwriter. You don't have what it takes. I am a okay artist. I mean, I can draw and stuff, but I'm not an artist. I am a songwriter. Now, I don't make money off it. I don't have a big hit on the radio, but then again, I'm glad I never did. I'm glad I didn't go down that road. I don't want to be these idiots out there who sold their souls away so they can make songs and do videos drinking blood and taking baths in blood and also milk. I mean, and putting a hand over their eye. They're not creative. They're being told what to do to make money. And when you gave up your creation, even to Hollywood and even to the music industry and all that, you gave up who you were. And now you're being dressed by them. You're being molded by them. You're given songs by them. If you're the artist, if you're the one singing. I want to be original. Don't you want to be an original? You let AI do the work for you, you're not original. I'm not saying that you can't use help. If you need words, go to a thesaurus. Go to a I'm not going to say Wikipedia, but go to a dictionary. Find words. Sometimes you got words that need to go there, but you can't use those words because they don't work with the rhyme, or they don't work with the music or the timing. And so you got to find the exact word that might mean the same thing. So you can put it in there. Maybe it sounds just right. Or you have to change the structure of the song for all you people trying to understand what it means to be a songwriter. And y'all didn't like the last time when I went on here. I had to get rid of it. Y'all went crazy over it. Was, maybe if you can't make a song, maybe you ought to try to find a good hook. They didn't like that. Oh, songs are more than that. They just went nuts. Y'all too prideful for yourselves. If you cut down that pride, all that energy that you put in the pride of your so-called work, then maybe you'll be able to do more work and it'll come out of you. Because right now, your pride is in the way of your songwriting ability. And right now, you're all sticking up for a piece of equipment, a toaster oven. That's your pride. You're sticking up for a toaster oven. You're sticking up for a program. You're sticking up for technology. That's what you're sticking up for. That's your pride. You're sticking up for this. You will die to protect this. But you won't die for God. You won't lay down your life for God. You'd lay down your life for AI. I'm sorry, I don't understand. So, I'm hoping that I'm putting this on Facebook. And I'm hoping to put it on the music platforms. I'm hoping that the the people running it will allow this to go on. Because I'm sorry, people. I am a songwriter. I am a musician. I don't take kindly to artificial intelligence coming in and taking away the abilities that we have. And people giving their abilities away. Some of you out there who use it, you probably could be very, very good songwriters. If you could tell a story and you're good at it, then you can write a song. If there's something that sticks in your heart, you can make a song out of it. One little idea. But when you give it over to something else to do it for you, that's not your idea no longer. You may get a few, but you had to get. It's not getting outside sources, and it's not getting AI. It's the people who use it to do the work for them. When it comes to that point, I just don't know middle ground when it comes to AI, because I know why AI is here. I know what its purpose is. And it isn't what many of you think it is. Okay? It is a destroyer of worlds. It is a destroyer. When I say worlds, I'm not talking outer space. The worlds in which have been here. The different cultures, societies that have come and gone. Tartaria or whatever. All the things that happen, lost information. We have turned over to AI. The sponge, the change. So when you look at internet and Facebook, you see pictures. I get so sick and tired of these images. They show these black and white images that are all AI. It's supposed to be women holding alien babies. Now, if you believe that, if you can easily believe that that is not AI and you believe it's real, that's how dangerous it is. When you look up into space, supposedly, you look up in it, but yet when you look on television, they're showing you something that isn't that. That's dangerous. When the illusion becomes more real than the reality itself, that's dangerous. And I know in this world, a lot of times, we want to escape. I got a song called, Into the Blue. Sometimes we just want to get away. Get into a sailboat and just get away from everything and everybody, right? And yeah, we want to. But the thing of it is, when you give up your abilities to a machine to do it, then you're on that boat away from everything, and also yourself. You disconnected yourself from you. Because now, your greatness now, and your abilities now, are going through a program, through a computer, through all the little synaptics and energies and electrical impulses in metals and gold and silver and just little jolts of energy back and forth that is being programmed. That is a program. And yet, your synaptics inside your head are no longer working. Cobwebs are building up because you're letting AI do your creating for you. You've given yourself over to it, and you've given your talent to it, not your talent. So it pops out something, it looks good, it sounds good, you put your name on it, out the door it goes. Are you proud? Is it yours? Did it come from the heart? Did it come from the mind? This is all I'm saying, people. So for all of you songwriters who are proud, if you're proud of writing a song that you wrote, be proud. But if you come out with something that an abomination, a fake intelligence came up with, and it had nothing to do with you, how can you claim it as yours? you're being untruthful to you. And here's another thing. For all you people who are Christian, if you're using AI to do Christianity things, like I'm getting tired of the AI Jesus. On YouTube, they got these videos where they show all the visuals, all beautiful pictures and stuff, but they don't use scripture references. And Jesus sounds like a fortune cookie. Or sounds like a fortune teller. It's great that you came to this video. I am Jesus. I will. That's dangerous to your spiritual health. A fake Jesus. They want to put him into churches. Methodist churches now have screens where they have AI ministers. Not real. Ministers now don't want to write their own sermons. They want it from AI. And what is AI teaching? Acceptance of all things, even sin. So I know that a lot of you songwriters who would be listening to this, I know a lot of you aren't Christian. I wish you were. You'd find a lot more interesting things to write about. I don't find anything interesting in the world to write about except negativeness, because the world is upside down as far as I'm concerned. You got starlets out there, and you got all these award shows that are dark. I mean, music is rituals. There is no music anymore. It's all rituals. It all has to have a purpose behind it, and the purpose is usually negative. So if Satan is using music against it, Satan is. I was going to say this earlier, and I got off my tangent. Satan loves music because Satan also was not only the light bearer before he fell, he was also the bearer of music. He was beautiful, and the music shone from him. The light shone from him. A light bearer, a music bearer. His tone was beautiful until his heart changed, until his disposition changed, and the music changed. All of a sudden there were ripples in heaven when he changed. And then he became jealous. And the music that would be coming from him and the light that started to shine darker and darker. As the Masons have the upside down world where the dark sun comes from the bottom as the regular sun, that's their, understanding of their, little sign there. The compass So anyway, all of this, Satan controls the airwaves. Satan controls the sound waves. Satan controls those people who control HAARP. He controls the airways. All those people spraying the skies with chemicals. He controls the air. He controls the airwaves. He walks to and fro in the earth. Right? He back and forth. His demons are unembodied, and when they do, those who do become possessed, people who become possessed by these demons, they go to work in the bodies of who they are possessed. The daimonian demons, they go and do their work in chaoticness, making people feel fear, making people feel anger, making people side against each other, making people fight, making people want a war. That's what's going on in the world. It's hard to keep a very positive position when you're... So how do you write? What do you write about? Well, my niche, what I do, I write for God. I write for salvation purpose. I write for goodness. I write songs that can lead people out of the darkness in which they're in, out of the corners in which they've found themselves, out of the fires in which they're burning in. That's what the music's there for. That's why I write. Otherwise, without God, I don't find anything good to write about. I don't see a world of love anymore. I see a world of propagated love. I see a world of fake emotion. I see a world out there. So as an artist, as a songwriter, I don't want to draw from that alone. But if I do draw from it, of the world I see, I want to be truthful. And I want to show the world for what it is through my music. The world is ugly. The world is dying. Physically, spiritually, morally. The world is gone. Man has given up his soul. The soul of humanity has been given up to darkness. In the end times, people, there's only going to be a remnant. Either you're on board with God or you're not. You either believe or you don't. And for all of you people who think you're your own people, your own person, if technology has controlled you for the last several years, think about what I'm saying. Has controlled you, not you controlling it. If it has controlled you, if you're sitting there doing what you're doing and compromising your own beliefs and compromising your own abilities to make money, if that's what it's about, because some of you have told me it's all about making money. You could stand, I had a guy, you could stand on your high morals, Derby Jack, but, some of us want to make money and eat. Well, and you can go hungry, something like that, that's cool and fine. If I have to go hungry to not compromise what God has given me and compromise who I am, I stand upon who I am. I know who I am in Christ Jesus. But if you're telling me or asking me to give up who I am to do what you're doing or to accept what you're doing because you've given yourself over to it, I can't do that. And I won't. Because I will let you know. I had somebody tell me something, well, what do you think about my proposal? I said, I think it's stupid. And if I think you have something to say that's stupid, I will let you know. If you think I have something to say that you think is stupid, then let me know. I am not afraid of words. There's nothing that you can say that's going to hurt my feelings. There's nothing you're going to do. But what does hurt my feelings is to see all of you people, you songwriters, who are using AI and allowing AI to do the work for you. If that's what you're doing, even allowing it to help, it is the enemy. Its purpose is to do the work for you. It's driven to take over. And until you see that, that's the entity. That's what has been put in it to get better, to get faster. When AI is able to do the job better than you and is a lot cheaper and a lot more economical to the people who had bought the damn thing and running the companies and the corporations, then you are out on the street. And if you can't understand that, and when you creators give over all your abilities in teaching AI what it means, that's what I always say about the Christians. When you give away what it means to be a Christian to AI, AI can turn around and use that against you. So, I've said all I can say, people. It's going to be up to you all to figure out whether what I'm saying has any validness in your life or in your mind or even in your heart. And I hope that maybe some of you think a little bit different about God, because I'm going to tell you something. God's jealous. He has a right to be jealous. I just don't understand why you all are jealous when it comes down and angry at me when it comes down to AI. If AI is your only way out, that's pretty sad. If AI is your ability to make money, your only ability, it's pretty sad. It really is. Everybody says, well, we got to find our niche, find our niche. Like I said once before, AI was not always around. Okay, people? Technically, AI itself, the artificial intelligence, wasn't always... We dreamed about it, right? We seen E.T., we see all the movies preparing us for it, but it wasn't quite here yet. Not for human consumption yet. But when it finally came on the scene, it pounced on humanity. It took over. So now, your job's a lot easier in writing music because you got AI, or writing a book, or writing a song, or doing a proposal, or whatever. Let AI do it. Where is your originality? Yeah, we all get draws. As musical, some of my draws are Eagles, America. I like harmonizing. Songwriters, Harry Chapin, Jim Croce, there's others out there I can name, okay? And also in the Christian, Michael Card. If you ever heard Michael Card, if you're a Christian and you never heard Michael Card, you need to go online and look up Michael Card. Some of the most beautiful messianic Christian music you ever heard. Been out there for years, and only very few Christians know who he is. God gave you an ability. Please, if you're a songwriter, don't give up that. And if you're not a songwriter, I'm sorry. I have to tell you, and I got to break your pride. If you're not a songwriter, if you're not a singer, if you're really not... Now, if you're doing it for fun and you're having fun, cool fun, but if you're out there thinking that you're going to make it because of the abilities that you really don't have, you can't make them up. It's sort of like the people who use that auto-tone. I mean, if you have to use auto-tone to sing, that means you're not a singer. So it's a matter of... It's not putting anybody down. You're actually putting yourself down by doing it that way. What if you can sing and you just never really tried? And what if it's not singing that you're good at? Maybe you have other abilities that you're not even... It has nothing to do with music. Maybe you have other artistic abilities that you haven't even delved into. So that's what I'm talking about, people. Find your abilities and don't give your abilities away. It's like I said, America, we're a warehouse for other people. We give everything away. We gave our heart and soul away. We sell our lands away to China. And we let people come in here and take our taxes and raise our taxes. Come in here, take money so our taxes get raised for the people who are working. I had to retire because I couldn't deal with it no more. Young people started to become stupid. I worked at a Subway. I couldn't get, for years. I was a manager doing it all. I take the orders, I do the register, and I clean the toilets. You see what I'm saying? Because young people couldn't come in and work. Why? They had masks on their face. They became stupid and couldn't do a damn thing without that phone in their hand. Couldn't even wipe their ass after they took a crap because they had a phone in their hand. Little graphic, but you get my drift. So I had to get out of the game. I had to retire early. I had to cut my losses on my Social Security because I couldn't take it no more. I was being wore out. I'm 64 years old. I got stomach problems. I got other things. I'm going blind. I need teeth work. Yeah. I'm not a good, proud-looking thing to look at. But I'll tell you what. If you listen to my music, you can't sit here and say that I don't have talent. And I try not to say that to be over prideful myself. I put a lot of work into what I have done. Many years of writing. Trying to make it in the past, but I don't want to make it in the past. I don't want to make it like I did. I don't need to make money off of it. See, you're all still trying to live in the world you think is still running. And the world is changing around you. You think you're trying to change with it. But what it's doing, it's making you change. It's like Klaus Schwab said at the Economic Forum. It's not us changing the world. It's the world changing us. It's the technology changing us. That's scary. That isn't something that I like hearing. I don't want to be changed. When I'm ready to be changed is when God changes me. I don't need to be changed in between. I don't need my plumbing changed. I got enough problems with plumbing. I don't need my mind reworked. I don't need my body retooled. You see what I'm saying? I don't need my DNA changed with RNA. Okay, bullshit. I don't need all that. Whatever God decides to do with my DNA, I'll let him do it. I don't need some monkey in a white suit with a needle in their hand telling me that I need something. Okay? And that ain't going to happen here. You know, that's what I said. I will always be me. What do you stand upon? Do you stand upon any type of ground? Or is your ground flimsy? So if you're a Christian and your ground is flimsy, that means you're not standing on what? The Word of God. Now, if you're a natural man and your ground is flimsy, well, you've tried everything. You still have a ground that's flimsy. Maybe you ought to try God. Maybe you ought to read the Bible. Maybe you ought to submit. Because you've easily submitted to everything else. You've submitted to chaos. You've submitted to the left and right paradigm, believing that the government actually exists. Most of you evangelicals out there and most of you people are still believing that Trump's going to come in and save the world. Maybe the Antichrist, but you guys don't. So, I've said my piece. Derby Jack out, and hope to see you all on the other side.